Let's just drink in your basement until we can't stand.
What I love about what we're doing right now is every bottle almost got better.
What is your number one single barrel that you think is out there that somebody can get?
I think I'm gonna keep my floors like concrete, so that way when we have extra, I can throw it on the floor.
And it just dries up.
All right, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing something fun. We're gonna be doing single barrels. If you're not familiar with single barrels, pretty much every whiskey warehouse where they're aging whiskey in all their barrels, you can purchase one actual whole barrel, turn that into bottles, and usually a liquor store might sell it as a store pick where they'll just try to sell everything that was in that barrel. I mean, Blanton's comes to mind as a single
like
barrel.
the OG of the single barrels.
Right?
Yep.
Any other thoughts that come with just what is a single barrel?
No, I mean, it's that individual barrel, but it doesn't necessarily always mean good.
Yeah, that's okay.
So
That's a great point.
I think that's really the theme of this video.
Yes. So what we're gonna do, this is the idea, is we're obviously here with Jeremiah's collection, as you've seen in previous videos. Very large collection with a lot of bottles. He also has a lot of single barrels. So we're gonna try a bunch of different single barrels and see which one we think is the best. We're not gonna be able to try them all today.
No,
but we'll try a decent amount.
I think what I wanted to do was like kind of say, if you see these, they are usually pretty good.
Okay,
and
we'll
so
go after them.
I think we can try some of those that I have that, you know, will kind of give us a good indicator if that makes sense.
That's fine. So I say, let's try to maybe start low proof.
Yeah.
All right, what comes to mind?
So for low proof stuff, I would probably actually, and you know, it kind of disappeared for a little bit and has come back. Oh, actually, I have two of them. I have a 90 proof and a 100 proof single barrel Old Forester. And these are not the barrel proofs. These are the lower proofs. I feel like we got to go with the 100.
Let's do that. That'd be a great one to start with. And then it might be fun to do little tiny pours.
Yeah.
And then we can jump into a couple of the barrel proofs because you have a rye and you have the regular.
Yeah, I thought I had an open one of these, but you know, it gets crazy in here. So yeah, these have been really, really yummy. I don't see them as often, so if you do see them, definitely get it. Just because I think the price point is very good. It should be in the 50s if I'm not mistaken. So this one was a pick with like a bourbon group, and this is Warehouse 1, Floor 5. So most single barrels, you know, if they want to tell you the other information, it's going to tell you location, where it was in the rick house, where it aged. So this is Warehouse 1, Floor 5, and it's 100 proof. Don't know how old they go for, but a little bit, right?
Yeah, definitely a little bit. Please, because we're gonna try to go through like 6, 7, 8 different pours. So tiny. Yeah. Now, do you prefer this one over the barrel proof or usually barrel proof, sir?
Usually the barrel proof, but this one I still really enjoy. I will choose this over other, you know, actual bottles. Forget about even if it's single barrel or not. But there's like such a like cherry, heavy cherry, cola cherry, like that saturated cherry note on here that's like insane.
On the nose, I'm getting sherbet.
Oh, so like a powdered.
Yeah, like fruity, but that dessert. First sip of the day. Yeah, you weren't kidding. There's a lot of cherry on that.
Tons. And I just like, I like these over the barrel proofs sometimes because it's not as high proof. So if you want something that's a little bit less, you know, less intense, these are great choices if you see them.
It's the first whiskey pour, so there's definitely some alcohol there, ethanol, but.
And this is probably,
I really like that.
I think this is my second bottle. It was limited, so that's the other thing with single barrels. You know, it's fun because you're getting that actual barrel might have gotten so much wind, air, so much, you know, heat, so that the fifth floor a little hotter, you know, because it's higher on the warehouse. Maybe less humidity, you know, more dry. So you have all these conditions and it's like that period of time that it takes a snapshot, and it's kind of like naked. In blended stuff, you have all these barrels that you can kind of put together and get a profile. With this, it's like it's raw, whatever you get. This was proof down. You know, this is 100 proof, so this is going to be proof down, and so it's going to yield more bottles. But sometimes when it's just, you know, cast strength or direct from the barrel, you only get like 200 or so, potentially even less bottles from one individual, you know, 53-gallon barrel. So yeah, this one, this was definitely one of the better ones.
I like it, and I got a little bit of nuttiness, but I always say this: if it's too much nuttiness, I hate it. If it's light nuttiness, I'm okay with it.
Sure.
So I get a little light nuttiness, probably leans more towards peanut, that syrupy cherry, and its other sweet notes. It's a very sweet whiskey.
Yes.
I really, really enjoy that as somebody who likes sweet whiskeys.
Do we want to stay in the similar proof? Or
Should we skip Blanton single barrel, or just for the video, do we have to dive into it?
No, I say skip it.
Okay. So then
I think there's better things than that.
Okay. Because as you guys know, you know Blanton's is a single barrel, but a lot of times they'll do store picks, which are supposedly even better because that store is tasting through a lot of the single barrels and picking one. But if you see a Blanton single barrel just out on the shelf without that sticker on there, it's usually just a random single barrel that doesn't mean anything additionally into that bottle. Yeah.
So do we want to stick with that same kind of proof, or?
I think we should try our best to stay in that range. One that did catch my eye, and I wanted to ask you, was the 1792. Have you cracked any of those?
The single barrel, I've had them. I don't think I have anything open right now, but it doesn't matter.
Because that could be interesting. I've just never tried that before. I've never had a 1792 single barrel. But once again, what does that mean? Does that mean it's...
I mean...
This is a little bit. But I feel like that'd be a good transition, right? Want to do one?
We could do that. I was thinking the Russells.
I was just listening to a video about Russell's Reserve and how the single barrels. Oh, it was that one person, we were looking at other whiskey tours, and he had a whole wall of Russell's single, because he said he loves them so much.
Yes, so that's a great one that could be next. The single barrel from 1792 is another, but that's kind of like...
Roxy's in here crying.
What do you want?
You just want attention? You can't drink whiskey with us.
So this 1792 is going to be like a Bland's. It's going to be, you know, it's not like a special barrel pick or anything like that. It's just their program that they're doing all individual barrels. So we can certainly jump over to that if we want to just like a little try.
I'm down to just try it.
Yeah.
What do you think first, Russell's or that?
Let's go with that.
And is it these are the single barrels right here?
Yes.
Okay. Doesn't matter which one?
No, it doesn't, because like I said, it's kind of like a Blanton's thing.
Let's do a little close-up of it. So this isn't a store pick single barrel, but just a single barrel.
And then, you know, they have other like individual barrel. Like I have a foolproof. They usually do pretty well as individual single barrels as well as store picks, but we can certainly try that one.
Where's the mic? Oh, that was terrible.
Ooh. Just a wee bit.
Try to do it right. I either do too much or too little. All right, I'm excited for this.
It's funny coming off of... This is like very cinnamon.
Yeah, it's not fruit forward.
Yeah.
Like the other one is.
Wow.
Still tasty.
Very tasty.
I'm actually really impressed with this.
What's the proof on this?
This is a 98.6 proof, so we went down just a tiny bit.
Butterscotch.
Sweetness of vanilla, caramel, cinnamon, and oak.
I think I need more 1792.
All right, so we just finished up with the 1792 single barrel. I'm tossed up. I don't know which one I like more.
They're so different.
They're so different.
I was kind of digging the 1792.
I really like it.
And, you know, this was that's our second pour of the day. You haven't had anything today, right?
Nope.
All right. But yeah, so I think like this, I think it was just hitting different.
Yeah.
Especially like back to back.
It's a little more balanced to me. The other one, as much as I like sweet whiskeys, the Old Forester was like almost sweet and syrupy, which I don't...
It was like cough syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, what about next? Because this is your collection. So, single barrels. What makes you? What's something that you want to pick up next?
I'm gonna go with like what I personally buy, and that's gonna be the Russell's Reserve.
Yeah, tell me about this because this other guy was talking about this back. I saw a single barrel at the store and I didn't see this on there.
Yeah, so this is because this is a store pick. That's the private selection, and then they have single barrel.
Okay.
So if this is picked by Russell's, this would be picked by a store.
Oh, because that's what I was like looking for that on the back of it.
So private and then single.
Okay.
The privates are fun because you can choose. You know, a store owner has options to choose what they want. An 8-year by Wegmans, and then Canals 9-year.
Nice.
So you know you could the Tyrone Warehouse floor 4. I think that's the same thing. Tyrone 4 floor. So you know you have there's like Camp Nelson, if you ever heard of that one. That's apparently a very good one. These are all kind of the same.
I do know that.
This is also another 9-year.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna take the older one. I'll do it older.
And I think, oops. What I like about these two are the price points. They're so reasonably priced that it just makes sense to pick these up if you see them too. Because I think the gamble is not that high. Like, you're not risking a lot. One I've stopped buying is the Elijah Craig barrel-proof single barrels.
Do you have one to like show?
Yeah. There's just too many of them now, and they're getting younger and younger. They used to be 12 plus, so that's an 11-year.
So they're called private barrel?
Yeah.
I've never seen the private barrel, and I was unsure about that.
So that's the barrel proof, but there's just so many of them out there, and this one's an 8-year. So, you know, they keep dropping age. They're playing around with the age. I think that this one's 11.
That's pretty crazy.
But this one probably came out, I have to look at the date. You know, I like to support stores, so if I do see something that, you know, a store picked, you know, sometimes I'll just do it just to support the store. But that is not something I'm going out of my way to get anymore, is the Elijah Craig private barrels, the barrel proofs.
Okay. This is another nice pour. That's the thing is, first off, I'm going to trust his opinion because he's going to these stores and you're going to hope that they do a good pick. The other thing is when you're trying to get allocated bottles, this is a really good tip. A lot of people will buy a lot of the store picks because you're actually supporting them. They'll, you know, when they buy these barrels, sometimes if it's one barrel, and it might be 210 bottles that they have to sell. And they don't fly off the shelf if it's just, you know,
it's a huge investment up front as well. So, you know, they're spending 12 grand, 10 grand, whatever it is, to buy all of these barrels. Sometimes they sit so long. So yeah, anytime I can support a store by buying their barrels, I usually try to. But this, we went up a little bit in proof. This is 110.
I like it. And it's not hitting me in a negative way. I like the increase in proof.
I almost get like creme brulee a little bit. I don't know if you're getting some of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Yeah, in a weird way, like, you know, that's not the usual note of this. Like, usually the Russells are kind of peanutty, and I almost think of like peanut butter or like a jammy.
Oh, like a little sweeter.
So like a peanut butter and jelly almost, because you get some of the nut, but then the jam of, you know, the jelly. It just kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, this is really nice. I could see jelly because there was a fruit note that I was trying to figure out on the back end.
And it's the kind we like. It's the one that gives us diabetes.
Okay.
These are all good.
I'm going to go up in proof. So I'm going to give an honorable mention, but we're not going to drink it just because it's too much. Because we're going to do 2 different barrel proofs, and then we're going to do bourbon and rye. But an honorable mention when you see them is the double oaked. Usually these are pretty nice as well. Not a huge difference than the regular double oaked, but really fun. Sometimes you'll get a really just a slightly different note than a regular double oak. So explore these if you see them. Again, very cost effective. They're not super expensive. And the last one of my favorites is the Evan Williams single barrel vintage. So it's from a specific year. Very inexpensive. I mean, $28, I think, $36. It's like somewhere really inexpensive. And then they have like the individual barrel with
That's
the date.
crazy for a single barrel to be that price.
Yeah, because I think they're like 9 years.
Wow.
So huge value in these. So if you ever see those, I would pick them up because again, your investment, $28, or the double oaked $40, I think, $45. You're not really risking a whole lot if they don't turn out good, but you're supporting that store. So I would definitely look at those. What I think we're going to transition to, though, is I think I want to go back to Jack Daniels. And these, the gold, and then I guess spill the beans, the green as well, the rye, are my two favorite. These are barrel proof rye and barrel proof bourbon. These are definitely some of my favorites when I see them as single barrels. There was one that was like straight up, like it was on fire, a Bananas Foster.
Oh, okay.
So like somebody had already lit it on fire and then you just put it in your mouth. So It was, because it was so hot. Like these are 130 proof. So we're definitely stepping it up in proof. And then that banana note was so heavy on that one that I had that, and the proof was just so high that that's what it felt like.
Jeez.
But yeah, I've had some other ones that were like way mellow. The banana, you had to really search for it. This is the cool thing about single barrels. It's also the scary thing because you just never know what you're gonna get.
That's true.
And so I think if you know the palate of your, the picker, so the store owner, I guess they don't want me to open this either, huh?
Damn bottles. Look, it's impossible. Look, I love how it has the peel part, but you just can't get it. There we go.
This is so hard. It hurt.
That's going to be an edited slow motion. This is the Jack Daniel's single barrel bourbon, so it's not the rye. So we're going to see if it comes with a little bit of banana notes I was talking about.
Or is it really the Tennessee whiskey?
Well, that's the big argument. We believe it's bourbon, so we'll let you guys fight in the comments. I personally...
Just smell it real quick.
Oh, that's banana. There's so much banana.
So we might have that.
It's like banana bread. So I guess it's really just
a tiny bit.
The rise. I mean, did you say the MS? Oh my god, that's so much
So
banana.
that's another thing. Like these are $65. I would buy this all day long anytime I see them.
Yeah.
Don't pay $300 for them, but when you see them for that $65 to $70, I think it's definitely a deal.
What I love about what we're doing right now is every bottle almost got better. Like,
whoa.
Yeah. And I'm surprised with the single barrel 1792 because that one could have, you could choose either or as being better from the first one we did, but this one definitely is a jump into higher quality.
Yeah.
Whiskey.
Whew.
Hot. You gotta like high proof whiskeys. We were having this argument with somebody the other day. He's like, I don't get why there's all these like high proof snobs. I'm not one of them. I don't think you are either.
No, I was.
Okay.
I was like, I only want that.
Yeah.
But now I like taste. So it doesn't matter.
That is good. It's actually banana bread on the taste too.
It's actually pretty sweet too, right?
That's nice.
A little burnt sugar, like almost like a creme brulee.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite notes. Honestly, I really like this pour right now.
It feels like a creme brulee with the bananas on top, and then they put the sugar, and they just burnt everything.
Yeah, because it's not a dry like breadiness.
Right.
Because maybe the rye might be like that.
Rye bread.
Yeah.
So to recap so far, I actually do think that the Jack Daniel's single barrel is the best. It's much more like dessert to me, so definitely get that if you want it for something like late at night or if you want to finish the night. The other ones are solid pours. They're more classic bourbons in my opinion. The 1792. What was the first one?
Before that.
Oh, the Old Forester Black Label. I remember when we first started, we just saw labels and we're like, that bottle looks cool. And we didn't know like what it meant. We didn't know the meanings of it.
I still do that. I'm like, that looks cool. I just want it.
I did just come from the store. I was going to tell you this too. Oh, they had the Wild Turkey 70th anniversary for $60.
Oh, okay.
I was almost bought it.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. 8 years. I think that's solid. How do you feel about this one compared to the other single barrels?
I'm actually tossed up. I'm between this and the Russells. I'm between the Russells and the Jack Daniels, the Gold Label. The Russells, slightly higher proof, a little easier to drink because of the proof, but the flavor from the Jack Daniels is just so good. It's
And I like the
eating
higher
dessert.
proof. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a proof snob, but I do enjoy this higher proof a little bit.
I just love the chain that it comes with. There's a black label too, the non-barrel proof. I have it somewhere down there. So the regular base one, bourbon, that's not rye, and they usually come with tags as well. I just love that they come with chains.
That is really cool. I'm trying to remember if I like this. I probably like the bourbon more, but I have a bottle of this, the rye at home.
Again, the ryes, it's like they're such good value. I think for like what you get, and the ryes were a specialty. Like they came out with that twice barreled rye that was a special release, and I think that was barrel proof too. And I remember getting that, and I was blown away. Unfortunately, we drank that, but yeah, I really wish I still had that one.
Ooh, that's a nice nose.
So bottling date was 3/15/24.
So recent.
135 proof.
It's a much more balanced nose because now you're getting spice and sweetness, whereas the other one was just straight banana sweetness.
Yes, straight sweetness. But I think the ryes are like even more like nuanced, like you said. There's a lot more going on, complex.
It does feel like that. It's like adding more, at least on the nose. We're gonna try to taste it. That's damn good.
Wow.
That's a good rye.
It's sweet too.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what that rye note is, but I don't know what it is. It's not like a pine. But
No, I still get like a little bit of that rye spice and a slight pine, but you then get sweetness. You get like the gingerbread cookie. You get.
yeah, I'm not trying to bad talk somebody, but what's that one brand that we tried and it's straight pine? It's like 100% pine. Iron Smoke.
They had a rye.
No, like their
Their
whiskey
oh,
tasted
yeah.
like pine.
Yeah, they're regular whiskey.
Like it drove me crazy, and yeah, people always say that, like, especially because our Instagram is big. If you're here on YouTube and you don't know us on Instagram, our Instagram is where we started, and that's where we have a big following. And people are like, well, you only talk about good whiskeys every once in a while, and that's because we don't talk about the bad whiskeys. And that was one that it just didn't hit our flavor notes. They actually reached out to like talk to us, and we ended up not moving forward with it just because we felt like we couldn't promote something if it wasn't our favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. The problem is everybody's palate's so different. So like, just because I don't care for it doesn't mean that you might not care for it, and that's okay. Like if you like it, cool. But I think that's where I'm not buying the Elijah Craig barrel proofs, the store picks, because they're just so boring. Like they're so similar, and I don't know. I just think that that's a waste of money now. But even though I did get this one. This was the new double oaked barrel proof, and that was right now it's only available as a store pick or as an individual single barrel. But
I'm trying to think.
so what do you think, the rye or the?
I have to say I'm impressed with the quality of the rye, but I think I still like the bourbon more, just because I like sweeter notes. I'm just like, I think overall, like if this was like a whiskey competition and we're being snobs, I might pick the rye. But when it comes to my flavor notes and what I just personally prefer, I also love banana.
Mm-hmm.
And earlier I was saying how there's no banana on the single barrel, but that one had so much banana.
I told you.
Yeah.
That's the fun part about the single barrels is like, I've had one just like this that was like straight up banana punch in your face, but I've had other ones that weren't that intense. So you agree then, right?
Yeah.
That if you see these, pick them up.
Yep. And once again, we're picking up good single barrels. He's actually dove into a lot of these. The Jack Daniels are ones that we're opening fresh, but we've had them previously in the past. So what comes to mind next? I mean, before you go to our grand finale, let's put it like that. Before we do a grand finale of the best single barrels that you have in your collection, what's another, maybe just an interesting one that is like maybe not as hard, not as easy to find? Not like special expensive bottle, but just like, oh, this was a weird single barrel I found once and I got it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say honorable mention, another honorable mention, just because I feel like we've covered it so many times, is a Four Roses. The single barrel proofs, and now the new single barrel program that's just 100 proof. Those are great options as well because you get 10 different recipes, long age statements, very reasonable prices, and I think those are always good gets. I felt like we've covered those plenty, so I wanted to do something a little different. But as far as something that's kind of unique,
Still Austin. I mean,
that's huge.
The reason why, well, first off,
Well, I don't also have a lot of Still Austin because I don't live there. And
Yeah.
It doesn't come to me. But yeah, that's a great honorable mention.
so I mean, I'm not just talking about this one, but we've done multiple with them. We've done a rye with a bunch of other whiskey influencers, and this is our release. It's actually still available online. I don't know if it's going to still be available when you see this video come out, but it's available on reserve.com. You can find it at the link in our Instagram bio. I'm not kidding. Like, this is one of the best single barrels I've ever had. And I didn't feel that way actually the first time we tried it. The first time we tried it, I was like, okay, I think this is the best of like the 10 that we tasted from. I felt solid. I felt like it was unique and different.
I thought also we were freezing our asses off. I mean, we were so cold. It was a freeze warning in Austin. So
Yeah, so I don't know. We
I
kind of
think
got
the
lucky.
situation was a little different. But
That's a great point. Yeah, so we jumped back into it after the bottle was open longer. And it's crazy, man. It's like so much like chocolate. There's a little bit of like serrano pepper on there. It's just so complex to me. Anyway, Christian, he runs the single barrel program with Still Austin. And he's constantly having people visit their rick house and they'll taste through all these different barrels. It's such a fun time. They're such an awesome business. And I've had so many great single barrels. Nancy Fraley also puts out single barrels by now.
True.
So yeah, they do special releases. If you're looking for a Texas single barrel, I mean, Still Austin's going to be our number one recommended one.
Yeah, true.
The grand finale, like what is your number one single barrel that you think is out there that somebody can get?
These are definitely harder, but these are just my favorite, and I will get these anytime I see them. And it's going to be actually a bourbon and a rye, but they're both by Old Forester, and they're both barrel proofs. These are my absolute favorite. So anytime I see them, I definitely grab them. We can kind of do both. We can go off the rye.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go off the rye. I
have
think
the
I
rye.
like the rye more on this one, but I'm gonna.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I just had the rye in a previous, I think, podcast that we did at Andrews that I didn't post yet, and that one was like so dang good. And then I had it recently again here with you, so dang good. So I'm interested to see if I feel that same way, but I want to put it back to back with the bourbon.
I think I'm going to keep my floors like concrete, so that way when we have extra, I can throw it on the floor.
And it just dries up.
Yeah.
Was it called Kiss the Barrel?
Yeah.
So when we did that at Still Austin, they were like, oh, just kiss the barrel, because we were tasting out of all the different barrels that were in the warehouse, but kiss the barrel. So instead of, making sure you drink it, because it's a lot of whiskey to drink when you're drinking all these barrels, you can...
Or sometimes you don't even like it.
True, yeah,
it
because
could
it's
just be
young
an individual
or...
barrel. Yeah, it's just maybe not good, but...
So yeah, kiss the barrel is pretty much you just throw it against all the barrels that are out there. And yeah, it's kind of fun once you start doing it and you just want to do it more often.
They say it also satisfies the angels because, angel share, it's your evaporation from your barrel. And so if you just, throw it on the barrel, it'll satisfy some of the angels out there too, who steal from the barrel.
Another fantastic nose.
This is a way different rye.
It's more mellowed out than the Jack Daniel's rye,
Yeah.
which I like.
The Jack Daniel's rye was like more piney and
Yeah.
rye
And this is like
spice, and this is like,
it's creamier.
yes, more, kind of reminds me of the Michter's rye.
Yeah, like I don't want to say delicate sometimes, because delicate might not come off as
Because
it's
this
like
is 120 proof.
yeah. Oh yeah, I've had this before where it burns.
This is 128 proof, so it's definitely not delicate.
But when I say the notes, they're very soft. Like, so I'm getting this note, this note, this note, this note.
they're not hitting me hard. And I always, the Michter's 10-year rye, one of our favorite ryes, I get a lot of that. So it's like orange peel.
Right.
But it's like just lightly grazing
Essence.
your tongue. I sound like a nerd when I say it's just lightly grazing your tongue.
Now this is like very rich. It's almost like a chocolatey. Is there like like mint chocolate? Like not super minty, but like that mint chocolate.
I like that example, yeah, because I could see that. There's definitely a light mintiness. This is why, going back to the complexity, there's multiple things that are coming with this. Oh, it's almost like when you go to Olive Garden and they give you the chocolate mints.
Yes, and then when you get unlimited breadsticks and then you had all the soup
And you're like,
the Alfredo, and then
you need your lactose pills. Oh man!
Wow. Okay, another. This is why you pick them up when you see them. Definitely get this one.
Either you're watching this video and we're just getting more drunk because we keep taking pours, or this really is the best one so far.
I'm gonna say this is the best one so far because it is un-rye like. You don't really. You're like, this is a rye.
It's giving me the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Yes. That's fantastic. I like if I see that on the shelf, I think they go for $80.
Yeah.
I would buy as many Old Forester single barrel proof ryes that you can get. They're just harder to come by. I've seen a ton of the bourbons out there, but the single barrel ryes are just so hard to get.
Sometimes they also, I mean, at least in this state, $200-300.
Jeez.
So don't buy it for that, but do buy if it's like $80.
All right. Now I hope we're not ending on a negative note because we're going to finish with the Old Forester single barrel bourbon, barrel proof, and let's see how it is because this is another great one. Do you know, is this a specific good pick? Because you've had a couple of these, right?
Yes, I have a couple of these. I can't remember. I was just looking at that. This one's 60. This is 132 proof.
Okay.
But it was a lower floor. It was floor 2, so it might not be as hot.
Okay.
But one way to find out.
That's what our next YouTube video. We're gonna be like, let's just drink in your basement until we can't stand.
New challenge today.
We turn into like the Mr. Beast of the whiskey world.
We're drinking all. I mean, there's probably not enough in here to show, but she's dark.
Yeah, because I don't know which one you poured me earlier that I was like, oh, this is kind of light actually. It might have been this one.
Awesome.
Which for 9-year, that's why that was light.
Espresso.
But super tasty. Back to the. Whoa, that lasted long.
Yeah.
I like that.
I gotta think about this.
Yeah, because at first I was going to say something,
Initially, I was going to say this is thin.
Okay.
But long finish. But how can you have thin and long finish?
I know.
But because that rye
it's okay if you feel different. It was sitting on my tongue.
Yeah, but like you get all the nougat.
Yep.
Later. At first, it's like a little string.
Oh my god, that's what it literally reminds me of.
Like the Snicker.
Remember the Buc-ee's nuggets?
Oh yeah.
Because they're like light cinnamon, but there's also like that caramel creaminess to them. We're definitely jumping back to like the butterscotch side of things. We're leaving that rye from before. Man, it's tough. It's going back to the preference.
It's also harder because like I bet if you have this isolated, tastes totally different, but coming off the rye. I also, anytime I see them out, like at a bar, I'll actually get a pour of them too, because usually they're pretty inexpensive for a pour, and then also that hotel, that bar had an individual pick, usually pretty good too.
Do you feel like they vary a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they also go vary in proof. I've seen as low as 60, as high as, as low as like 120, as high as like 140.
Oh wow. From these two that we just tried, these are like the best of the single barrels we're trying today. Which one are you picking?
The rye.
You're going with the rye.
Yeah.
Fair. I'm tossed up, honestly. I hate to be the
person. I was
person.
surprised to say that, but the rye is just almost perfect. The rye has such a great mouthfeel.
Yeah.
But seriously, like it's just so viscous and like, oh man, delicious.
Oh, so damn good. All right, well, that was super fun drinking a ton of different single barrels. Appreciate you letting me have your pours.
Of course.
That was fun.
So let us know in the comments. That's what we need. We want more fun ideas. We have this huge collection here. What can we do with it? What do you want to see us do? We'll try anything. Maybe we'll try the worst that you have that you think are the worst, the best that you have, any weird challenges. We'll do it all. But subscribe, hit that like button. We're going to keep pumping out content. We're going to be doing more city vlogs in the future, hopefully Louisville soon. We talked about doing Baltimore at some point. We're going to be going to the Bacta distillery as well. So a lot is, well, not Bacta distillery. They don't distill their own, right?
The campus,
Bacta campus. Anyway, they have Armagnac and bourbon. You're going to see a lot of that. But anyway, this was a blast. Great to see y'all. Cheers.
Cheers.